Hello, Moda Block Headers. Janet Clare here. My block is Shiny Bauble, and when I designed the block, it just reminded me of a Christmas bauble, but if you did it in Christmas fabric, it would definitely look like that. But I'm going to do mine in my favourite blues, and I think it will just look like a really striking block, and you'll be able to get really fun secondary patterns going on. And I am going to foundation piece mine. Now, I know it's traditional, maybe, and more common for you to foundation piece on paper, but this is the way I was taught to do it by my mum, so this is the way I do it. And I actually use a very fine interfacing. Definitely don't use a glue one. Don't use anything with glue. Very fine interfacing. You need to give it an iron before you trace your templates on it, just in case there's any shrinkage or it distorts in any way. So just give it a quick press and then trace your template onto it. And as you can see, I haven't bothered marking up the 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to sew. I've given myself plenty of excess interfacing to work with, and then I will trim it up afterwards. This drawn line is all for you so this is the back. Okay, everything is going to really happen on this side of the interfacing. So these are the flying geese, and then I was going to do square and square blocks with the little corner squares, and I thought, well, I'm foundation piecing, why don't I just do those as well? So I'm going to foundation piece those, but I'm just going to show you how to make a flying goose, and you'll see how easy it is. So this is actually the wrong side. So I'm going to have an indigo goose. So I'm going to put that right sides down, and I'm going to put my fabric on top. So don't forget, you need seam allowance. Now, you can cut the shape out that you need beforehand with your seam allowance, and that wastes very, very little fabric. But you can also do it a nice, quick, easy way, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to cut. I folded that out of the way. I'm just going to cut. Don't forget you need your seam allowance. And I'm going to fold this side out of the way. So I'm filling in that goose shape. Using the interfacing as the template, which again makes things nice and simple. Get that out of the way. And now I need to put the air in, the wings in, don't know, and they need to go right sides together. So again, I can cut this down to shape if I want to, or I can just pin that in place and trim it when I've done it, and that's what I'm going to do. So just pin it. You want to check that you've got right sides together on the reverse, so that you have got a really, really clear drawn line to stitch on. Okay, let me get my sewing machine in now. Sewing machine. Just set up for a straight stitch, and I'm going to do slightly smaller stitches than I would normally. So I'm just got my machine set to a 2, and you are stitching down. I nearly stitched the wrong line then, because you're all watching. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my pins on the wrong side, so you have to be super careful. Make sure you're not going to sew over your pins. I've got slightly smaller stitch length, and all I've got to do is just stitch on that drawn line. And you can go as slow or as fast as you like. Just keep things nice and smooth. Take that pin out well ahead of time. You can see them through the interfacing. Of course, you can pin on the sewing side as well. Or don't pin, just see what happens. And foundation, I'm going to go backwards a bit. Cut my thread. foundation piecing is super, super accurate. You'll get really sharp points, so that's always good fun. Okay, and then all you're going to do is put that out of the way. Keep everything nice and straight. There we go. There we go. Just score. Just score. And then, again, we can trim this down then, because we know how much fabric we need. Don't forget your seam allowance. And again, you can be as generous with this fabric as you want, or you can be really, really thrifty and make sure you've just cut exactly the shape that you need. It's up to you. It depends how much fabric you've got to be playing with. There you go. So that is one half already. And then the next thing, all we're going to do then is put right sides together and make sure that will all cover beautifully, and it does. Right sides together. So look, we can pin this side if you like, and the beautiful thing is you can actually see your fabric through, so you can see that you've got plenty. Let's pin it this side this time. There you go. Now, you can do a bit of a production line sewing. It's not quite as quick and easy as chain piecing in that regard, because you're not really running your stitching off the shape. You've got to keep it actually on the shape. But of course, you won't move your sewing machine in and out of frame constantly either. That'll save you some time. Now, what can you see? I've got a bit too much indigo. I can see it there. I can't see any of that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim that indigo down a bit, because we don't need to see that, do we? Too much indigo. Let's see if that's better. Yep, that's better. And then we can trim this excess away. It's a bit of upside down, back to front, flipping over, but you will get into a rhythm, and it's quick. It really is quick, and it's accurate as well. There, one not pressed, but very nice. Flying goose. That's it. So I will give that a press now, and then I will take it to my cutting mat, and I will make sure to cut with 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way round, and then that will be ready to sew into the block.